Much this is for a course I'm taking. I have to do an online thing for Road Trip Nation. Come interview and just ask you a few questions about your profession, stuff like that.
Okay.
Obviously, like one of the questions is what's your profession? It's oral surgery.
Right.
And then like what made you choose this career?
I got interested in oral surgery, which is a dental specialty, because my dad's a dentist, and I was in the process of applying to dental school and med school, and had to kind of decide if I want to go to med school or dental school. I chose dental school because of my father, and then when I got into dental school, I was kind of drawn to oral surgery because it's kind of the it's kind of the medical side of dentistry. So I think that's why I chose it, because I had the interest initially in medical school and dental school. So.
All right, and then. Like, what were the requirements and the educational process like to reach your goal for oral surgery?
As far as college, or
for college and then on through dental school, what would you say the process was like?
In college, a lot of your probably the same stuff that you're thinking about doing: basic sciences, biologies, chemistries, organic chemistries, physics. With my dad being a dentist, I had a little bit of a experience, being around the office and kind of seeing what it was about. In the dental school, first year of dental school was a lot of science type stuff, histology, biochemistry, and then you also do your dental laboratory type stuff. At that point, I think that's when I got into oral surgery. I did an externship at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, and kind of got interested in that. Did a 6-week deal during the summer, and then as I came back into dental school, I was just interested kind of in the oral surgery side of things, and really almost went in with my dad. It was a tough decision not to go in with your father, but I think he was very supportive and just wanted me to do what I had a passion for, and for whatever reason I was drawn to oral surgery, which is kind of a long drawn out road. So, 4 years of dental school, and then I ended up doing 5 years in oral surgery residency, which the first year was was more of a fellowship, what they call a fellowship or an intern year, where I wasn't obligated to do the program. And for me, I did that because, again, I didn't know if I wanted to practice with Dad. And so that year, I moved to Texas, at the University of Texas, and I was able to get away and kind of really hone in on that's really what I wanted to do. And I ended up staying down there and doing the 4 more years of residency, and got out in 2002, and then came back here to practice.
All right. And then, what do you like most about your job, and what do you like the least about your job?
What do I like most about the job? It's always interesting. There's always a challenge. I think you kind of never know what to expect.
Yeah.
Your dad can identify with that too. I mean, and you deal with people, which I like. I like dealing with people. For the most part, that's a positive about the job. What do I like least about the job? Probably as I've gotten older, the time constraints. For the most part, you've got a good family, situation. But as my kids have gotten older, you're pulled more, and so when you want to build this practice, and you've got to obviously be there to make it run, and that's probably the busyness, which it's kind of a good and a bad thing.
Yeah.
So.
And then, when you were a kid, what did you want to grow up and be like as a profession? Like, what did you want to do as a job?
Initially, I wanted to be an airline pilot, a pilot, and that was probably my first memory. And then in high school, I just remember I wanted to be a doctor. Whether that was med school or dental school, or they're both doctors, but and then going into college, that's kind of what was my goal.
Okay. Let's see. what advice would you give to anyone interested in pursuing this career or anything else? Advice like going through college, like in my stage of life right now.
I would do a lot of the things that you're doing. I mean, you've got the luxury of, if you're thinking about going to dental school, you've got your dad's practice to obviously hang out, and that's a huge plus because you can see the positives and the minuses of a practice. But I would also encourage you to, go to other practices. You can come here, hang out, see what we do. I think it's a good idea to, get as many views of a profession as you can. Because obviously, if you just came to my office, you're going to get one perspective, and you go to your dad's, you get a different perspective, and you go to another office. And especially if you're thinking, if you're like me and thinking medical versus dental, then I'd go hang out with some medical offices as well. So.
All right. And then the last question would be, what's the best advice you've ever been given regarding your profession or the job it entails?
I don't know if some of that I can mention on tape. Best advice I've ever been given. I don't know that I can't really think of the best advice I've been given. I've been given some advice, but I really can't repeat it. But probably just having the luxury of having a dad that did this, and seeing him being able to. I mean, if you pursue this, I mean, you'll be able to see. I mean, because most people will come into school and they won't have a clue of what it's about. And it's not that my dad gave me any great advice, but he was always the example. The work ethic, working hard, and he was one that he was busy, but he was always around. And and I guess thinking saying that, it's kind of given me with regards to the whether I would go in with him versus oral surgery. He did give me some advice as to basically do what you want to do. Don't do it because don't come into practice with me because of me. Do it. Do what you want to do. I think that was good. That was good advice. So.
Well, that's pretty much it.
Is that it?
Yep.
All right. How'd I do?